Ah, that's enough. That's enough, stupid. Out of camp. We're down here. Remember that you can open your map by clicking the compass rose icon on the left side of the screen. Bzz, that one. Which I now know what it looks like. Your primary task is marked with an exclamation point. To see what awaits you next, scroll through the map. There it is. Hi. It's over here. A chest I already have. Alright, the one I found already. Now my scouts will mark things. Oh. Oh, do I have to click on the scout icon? Yeah. Let's scout. Ooh, there's a lot of scouting we got over there. Okay. Damn. It's a lot of loot that you've discovered with scouts. And a point of interest. Down there. How do I get down there? Good question. Don't know. Answer necessarily. Evidently there's no loot behind me, so good to know. You can center on player, you can open the legend. Ah, there's fast travel points. Okay. I guess you can probably click on them to fast travel to them like in the previous games. This is inventory. Haven't seen this yet either. Yes, I have. Never mind. It's the same. The inventory is just the command tent. Okay. Onwards. A bit of return. Go to Hawksburn.
Is this what I pay taxes for? To be robbed along the high road? And in broad daylight, no less? Were it not for mandatory merchant routes and stacking rights, why, I'd have gone round, through Sodden. They told me. Lyria's a wild land, lawless, chaotic, damn disgrace. Were it not for mandatory merchant routes and stacking rights, why, I'd have gone round, through Sodden.
He is... Hey, I already talked to you. Go away. No, stop it. And I get it, you're displeased with me. I'm leaving now, bye-bye. Your army's morale can change. Neutral morale has no impact on your cards, whereas low morale lowers each unit's strength by 1 point, and high morale raises it by 1 point. That's a really big deal. Damn. The army's current level of morale is displayed by an icon in the upper left corner of the screen. Changes in morale depend on choices throughout the game. To increase it, make an offering at a wayside shrine, but remember, after victorious battles, morale returns to neutral, so you must always keep an eye on it. Huh. So after you win any battle, morale becomes neutral. Seemingly before it's positive, whether it's positive or negative. So it normalizes often then. Yeah, there's some familiar creatures. I don't see why not to use this, I suppose. +1 morale. Everyone's happy now. And green. Was that the lootable spot you were talking about? Yep. So... the definition of loot is a wide one, including looking...
Whatever is this filth?
Necrophages. Drawn here by blood's scent.
For such vile monstrosities to prowl the high roads of my realm. I won't allow it. Attack!
Not fond of that idea. Am I... oh. I thought this was a loading screen for a second there. Who were these travelers whose bodies now litter the roadside? They had the look of pilgrims who found misfortune after crossing paths with the strays of Spala. The bandits had slit their throats, leaving the bodies to rot under the sun. They'd likely have known the stench would attract the attention of flesh-hungry scavengers, thus exposing the next passerby to a horrific death. Clearly this realization hasn't bothered them in the slightest. Oh, you're still loading. Kinda thought you'd be loading in the background before I clicked. Alright. Familiar creatures. A trophy is a unique type of card, and you can only have one in your deck at a time. The trophy will automatically appear on the battlefield at the beginning of the match. Oh. So it just wasn't in... I guess it wasn't happening in the previous tutorial because the tutorial was not a real fight with a real deck. So as long as the trophy's in my deck, it just automatically will be around. And mine, this one is resilience, so it won't go.
Positively sweltering. Have we to do with some manner of sorcery?
We shouldn't exclude the possibility, my lord. And great caution we must exercise.
Your rows are now covered in fog, which is just one of several row effects you will encounter. Row effects affect all cards on a given row, and can have either positive or negative consequences. Later on, you will also gain access to cards that allow you to add similar row effects. Alright, I'm curious.
What is this? Some spectre? A strigger?
I can't be sure, Your Grace. It's the first I've seen of any such thing.
It's a foglet. So when it dies, it summons a copy of this unit from your deck. Oh. So every time you kill a foglet, it spawns another foglet. Unless they run out of copies in their deck. Fog creeps on little cat feet. Foglets creep over the bodies of their victims. Creepy little guy. Not much else going on there, though, so if you're not planning on killing it, it's just a 4-power thing that just hangs out. So this is instantly out, which means that Meve has a even faster ability now. And we're going to see more deck variety now, because a lot of the stuff that wasn't showing up before is now out in the open. Ah, Voracious Al Ghul, Necrophage Leader. Order, destroys the highest enemy and boosts all allies by that unit's power. Whoa. Okay, so leaders are powerful in this game. Destroy the highest enemy and boost all allies by that. Alright. So that's what the takeaway there is to either not boost my units or boost my weakest units, because otherwise I'm gonna greatly increase their power when they use that ability. That's a scary ability they have right there. Huh. Deck sizes of 6. We have shit. Do we really have decks that shallow? Do we only use a tiny percentage of my overall deck or something? I'm just curious about, like, can I not use my deck drawing strategies from before anymore? This is just, oh. What is this just a... What is this? Forfeit? What does this mean? I don't know what this menu means. Highlighted it. Oh, there's no tooltip. A lot of the stuff in this game has tooltips. Oh well. So you are normally a 5. You're currently a 6 because we have high morale. Lyria and Arbalist. I could attack it to make it weaker, but I wanted to go at... I feel like they're taunting me by giving me this, now that I know what they can do. That's terrifying. Let's just throw one of you guys out. You don't attack directly. Let's put you in the same row as the... Well, I can order the banner to join it. Let's put in the front row, and I'll have the Arbalist join you in the front row.
We'll be reaping black-clad heads.
And if I move the banner first, then the what happens is, yeah, you'll get even more damage from that. I think it it says number of cards, doesn't say anything about units. How do I use your power? Status that allows the card to remain on the board at round end. I was just explaining resilience twice. Weird. How do I order it? Maybe I guess it was brought in this turn, so it can't do it yet. Otherwise, I'll move him there, and then they'll all be in a row, and then this will be able to attack basically anyone, doing 3 damage, making our team stronger. I'd rather not use my ability.
These carrion eaters. I know them. Appeared on my estate last spring, enticed by the corpses of those of my sheep that fell. Harmless at first, until, that is, they fill their guts. Seemed to become quite powerful then.
So I should kill it. Use Fortitude Tonic to boost the strength of one of your units. I don't want to. It destroys the highest enemy and boosts all allies by that unit's power. They'll become, like, astonishingly powerful if I do that. You're not gonna make me, are you? Deploy. Consume a unit in your graveyard and boost self by its power. Shit. If ghouls are part of the circle of life, then it's one vicious circle. So this thing sucks, but oh. It's a deploy ability. So this ghoul sucks forever. It's not gonna redeploy, it was already deployed. But once there is stuff in the graveyards, that ghoul's more powerful and can absorb their abilities and whatnot. Yeah. Do I have to use the Fortitude Tonic? I don't want to. I want to order you to go there, though. How do I order you? Wait, I thought you had an order that let me change what row you were on. Am I crazy? That's the second time I've thought an ability existed and then it doesn't seem to exist. Like it seemed to show up on the other screen. Crap. So it doesn't work that way. Good to know. I have to use the banner? Boost the strength of one of your units. Oh, boost a unit by 10. That's interesting. I can use it on the enemy, which might actually have applications at times, but not now. They're gonna make me do it. It's such a bad idea because their ability benefits from that. I guess they don't expect me to have noticed that.
Fearsome they look, true, but they bleed just as we do. Onward, slay the filth.
They're currently spamming foglets. -2. Is there an explanation of what just happened? Why did it get a -2? Oh, every turn on start, damage the highest unit on this row by 2. Oh. I forgot to check the fog effect. I wasn't expecting fog to be a damage effect. It only affects one person per row, though. And they don't have a fog effect at all right now. Just the foglets. Rude.
I'm a monster. So fortunate we routed the beasts before they had a chance to gorge.
Well, I won by a significant margin just from the boost, basically. Just worried about their effect. I probably won't use mine until after they use theirs, just to avoid them getting to boost their entire team by my buff. The trophy will stay on the battlefield between rounds because it has the resilience ability. We're gonna be several episodes in before the tutorials are over, aren't we? Alright, so we have the Scytheman again, the Arbalist, another Arbalist. I guess we'll throw you out. Let's use the back row.
These dumb boots are killing me.
I'll use the back row since they might get a bonus. The Arbalist might get a bonus from the banner. When I get back to camp, I'll have to double check the banner situation.
They fill their bellies, ma'am. This doesn't bode well. Oh no, not well at all.
They're not in the row where I can actually attack them, though. So that's not good for me. So they're gaining power. Let's cause some damage. Minor damage.
Curses. Strong as steers they've grown. And they show no fear.
Frenzied, my lady. It's bloodlust. They lose all instinct to survive, feel no pain whatever. I've witnessed this before.
Your Majesty, we must give ground. Fall back. We can't win. Must minimize our losses.
Oh, he's actually using it. Oh, now I'm super doomed. Yeah, so now they use the ability like I was waiting for them to do. So they massively outrank me. Now we're 4 to 23. Yeah, their ability to boost their entire team while also getting rid of one of my entire units is devastating. I want that ability, frankly. Using this ability, the enemy leader destroyed your strongest unit and threw its necrophages as feed, which, yeah, it's what I already said.
There is no shame in ceding the field when fortunes turn sour.
I think they're teaching me to quit when I'm in trouble, which is what I was talking about before. If a round isn't going your way, it might be best to pass your turn and save your strength for the next round, but remember, you can pass only at the beginning of your turn before you've played any cards or used any abilities. Pass now to keep your cards for the next round. There we go. So it's teaching the strategy I was talking about before. Because we're totally doomed, but if I pass the next turn, I can keep this card for next round, which is powerful. But they might pass too, and if they pass, they'll also have one more card. So we're drawing 3 more. In the past, my strategy would be to play one card that's just strong enough that the average card they have would be too weak, so they'd have to play multiple rounds of cards to surpass it, and then they'd be exhausted on their deck, basically. But in this case, when I passed, I was already losing, so they just passed 2, which means they also have 4 cards, just like I do. Hey, you can still see the monster deck backgrounds there. I've got the collector's edition that came with those DLCs, and they actually have the same backs and everything. The unfortunate downside is they had to take all the neutral cards and mash them into existing decks, mostly the monster deck, because you can't play neutral cards like Geralt and stuff like that, because their backs would be different, and that doesn't work in physical card games. Remember, losing just 1 round does not mean defeat. To win the battle, you must gain 2 victory points.
Victory must be ours now. We shall not retreat. Arms at the ready. Attack! Look there! Yet another abomination.
Ugh, that stench. My salts. Where are my salts?
Ah, I forgot to read the other card. Whoops. To successfully command your army, you should understand the synergies that exist between your cards. To get things started, play Wagenburg on the melee row. The ability of this card becomes more powerful for each additional unit that's played on the same row after it. Yeah, I understand that. The Rot Fiend. Whenever another unit is destroyed, damage a random enemy by 1. Oh. When any unit is destroyed, ally or enemy, you'll smell them long before you see them. That's a horrible picture. Ugh. Not a good look. Let's see, what do we have here? We have an Arbalest, a Wagenburg. Yeah, you play other units on that tile. After it's played, they keep getting more armor, and then you attack with said armor. And this gives a charge, so you can repeat in order, but nobody here has... Oh, you have an order, which is the attack. Right. Yeah. Cards that have the order ability can be activated manually at any time you choose during your turn, but only after enough time has passed, since placing it on the battlefield. The icon at the bottom of the card will indicate that the ability is available for use. There's the ZZZ icon right there. During your turn, you can activate any number of cards that have the order ability. Most can only be used once, but the order ability of some cards can be activated multiple times in battle. He's got a cooldown right now. The hope would be to beat this round before he uses it again, but I'll be in trouble if he gets a chance. Are those his bone? Right, yeah, his hip bones stick out of his back. Voracious Al Ghul. Yeah, we read that before. Some necrophages have taken such a liking to human flesh, they no longer are content to merely dig up corpses. They're just gonna go hunting for them on the fly. We'll see. I don't need to... No, I should use my ability. I'll have the chance to do it multiple times. Let's give you some armor. Can I click on you, or... It's not letting me use my ability. What does the 6 mean exactly? I wonder. I guess I'm still stuck in the tutorial or something, because it won't let me even click on the ability. This is the same. You're the Voracious Al Ghul. Are you any different? Nope, same description. Yeah. Yeah, they keep a unit in any graveyard. Oh. Right, so they can even get yours. Nothing is sacred, nothing is safe. This will be 2 damage. I should focus on this guy, because if anything else is destroyed, mixed results. Don't want me to use the ability now, because if I... Yeah. I'll be able to rejuvenate it with this charge here. Reynard's ability allows you to reactivate units whose order ability has already been used. Yep. Why did I bother looking into this stuff myself?
Her Majesty is exceptional.
Now we can use that ability again. And we regained the +1 here. I wouldn't want to use it right now, though, would I? Yeah, I can't. They're gonna make me, aren't they? I can't click use it. I can't click on turn. I don't want to use it right now, though, because I can only use it one more time. I want to place this arbalist first. First, the arbalist will be placed to do 4 damage to someone, and then you will be able to use 2 damage because it'll be stacked. I feel like the game's making me do suboptimal plays, basically. Right, you attack an entire row, which is great. Forgot about that detail. Your opponent has run out of cards, and you have a sizable advantage. Your victory is assured, so you can either pass your turn or play out your glorious triumph to the very end. I mean, who doesn't want to rub it in when they're about to win?
Give me a time.
You're gonna attack for 4 damage. There we go. I specifically avoided killing, because if I killed, then somebody would take damage. Yeah. But if I avoid that, we're good. Then I can boost somebody's value.
The beasts hadn't a chance against us. Victory is ours.
The inclusion of dialogue during the scenes can be cool for raising the stakes and making it feel hyped up. I just hope that that doesn't mean that story encounters will be too scripted and not, you know, a card game. Because right now they're holding me by the neck and making me do exactly what they want me to do. And then it's like, oh, well, of course, the dialogue can match what's happening. I'm guessing that that's going to kind of take a back seat soon. My beloved, please write as soon as you reach the temple. I know only 2 weeks have passed, but my heart weighs heavy with thoughts of you. Our home feels empty without you. I hope our offering, though modest, will please the Mother Goddess. With her blessing, we shall have a child at long last. I've no doubt you'll make as loving a father as a husband. Please be vigilant and return to me soon. Forever yours, Filka. Might as well look at that map since I paid for it. And there's still one thing down south.
Many trees we've felled, my lady. Might you have need of them? So, take whatever your heart desires.
Ooh. Just giving me more. I don't know why the text is fast forwarding after a second. I'm not pressing anything.
They call themselves strays? Well, we'll treat them like strays. We build a bridge, brick by brick. A 1, a 2, the pillar grows thick. To near no bandits here. Not surprising neither, for we'd chase them off with our hatchets, we would. We build a bridge, brick by brick. A 1, a 2, the pillar grows thick.
I like that he just keeps going even when you're walking away. Like, he's not singing for us, he's just singing. Yeah, it might be a bit redundant to pay for scouts, seeing how I'm probably just going to be pretty thorough at walking around everywhere. Oh well. My first early regret. We'll see if I can successfully just buy everything. Which would functionally reduce the... That'd make the choice kind of pointless, admittedly. Discovering signposts unlocks the ability to fast travel, allowing you to move between them anytime from the regional map. So do you... So click. But can I just click on the map and go over there? Oops. Okay. So it looks like you can, I think it looks like clicking on this opens the map, but it looks like opening the map in general lets you fast travel regardless, so you don't have to be by a fast travel spot necessarily. I'll take it. The moment when we were indoors, it really feels like we're pillaging.
Lady, the masks they wear. Have you seen them? They've fangs, snouts, horns. Like a right proper nightmare. Your Majesty, I beg of you, thrash them bandits, please. Scared to step out into me own fields, I am. To raise an hand against the Queen. These hounds hold nothing sacred. Thank you for listening to this tired bag of bones. Folk haven't lent an ear to old Poppy in a long while. Please take this for the road.
Aw, you just talk to people a bit and they'd throw money at you, even though you're the queen.
To raise an hand against
the queen?
Majesty,
Oopsie.
Thrash them bandits, please.
Give me what I can.
Scared to step out into me own
So we're definitely directly rewarded for exhausting dialogue. It's twice, and that's twice already. No, like 3 times already.
Soon, Queen and retinue arrived at Hawksburn. The men stationed there they found standing at attention, baking under the blistering noonday sun.
Your Majesty, Count Caldwell.
Stand at ease, Sergeant, and report.
The local peasants we've rounded up in the yard, Your Grace. Expect they might have lent the bandits aid. Yet our courtesy hadn't inspired them. They haven't peeped a word. Might it please Your Grace to summon the hangman? He ties a noose for them, should have them jabbering right quick.
I'll speak to them first.
Your Majesty, for the Queen to question commoners, why, it's simply not proper.
Whom for? I shan't be stripped of crown and titles for it, so no impediment do I see. Lead me to them.
Bow low for your sovereign, Her Majesty, Queen Meve of Lyria and Rivia.
Ha' mercy, Your Grace. We bear no guilt, we simple folk.
Lyria, the city. Ever been to the castle there?
Nay, milady. And never ventured from his home, truth be told. Farthest I went was...
It has a dungeon. And in that dungeon, I've a special cell I call Ceci. Now, Ceci's not much. A round ditch with an iron grate over its opening. But you see, Ceci is so narrow, so tight, that once inside her, you cannot move. Not turn, not crouch, not lift an arm. Prisoners dropped in the bitch's embrace stand there for weeks in their own excrement until they lose their minds, or worms eat them alive. You've a choice to make. Tell me what I must know, or live your days out with Ceci.
Ha' mercy, my lady. Nay, we'll tell all, everything.
The bandits, whom do they follow?
Him, milady. We seen him. No name, just an odd title. The Duke of Dogs, they call him.
My, a blue blood thoroughbred mutt. Where are he and his hounds bound? Did he say?
That recall, Imogen? What do you name? A Gleeton or something?
Clayton. Lord Clayton. His estate lies to the south.
Sound the horns. Have the men form up. We march at once.
Milady, I'll be no higher for the Duke. He's a good man. Gave us proper brass for the welcome we gave him. Shared what grub he had.
Shut it, louts. The Queen's had her say. Your Grace, your orders. What are we to do with them?
The choices you will make will have consequences. I would hope so, otherwise they're not really choices. Some may be felt immediately, while others may take time. Choose carefully. That, wow. That was a hell of a renegade choice earlier. I was, like, that or else was... At first I was like, wow, she's not really doing much of an or else here. It's like, oh, you ever been to the castle? I'm like, alright. Sure, she's kind of going somewhere. Then she talks about Ceci, and I'm like, I wasn't really intending to go this strong, but okay. That's terrifying, and maybe made up, but I'm guessing not. Damn. Huh. There's a hell of a back and forth here. So you can have them whipped for what happened, or you can impress them and the men to the surface, set the women free, which I would assume means you force the men into joining your recruits, or you, yeah, they probably join you directly and then the women go free. Otherwise, you just leave them be. On one hand, I'm kind of wondering, like, why let the women free? Can't they be the medics, or the medics just the training gap too wide to get there? And they're warning that something can come up later. I wonder if there's a morale change or if a reputation change if you like let them go. They did tell me what I wanted to know. This is bigger than them. I'm always a softie here, but let's see if I pay for that. Let's leave them be.
Leave them be. The harvest draws close. Hard work. They'll have their hands full.
Oh, milady, thanks be to you, thanks be. I pray Mother Melitele watch over your kind heart.
Pray she watches over yours. Should I hear of you sheltering bandits again, of you lying to my officers, I shall return and put torch to every hut, field and orchard. Understood.
Meve set off toward Lord Clayton's estate at a gallop, her mount knocking the peasants aside as it kicked up a cloud of dust. The folk of Hawksburn spoke of the royal visit long after, albeit ever behind closed doors and in hushed tones.
Quite the impact. Even after all that, we just stormed through the crowd, knocking peasants aside with our horse. We're a friendly type, is what I'm getting from this. Also, my morale went down, meaning all of my units are going to be one weaker, which means these kind of moments where I should show should be showing strength and power. If I show mercy, it might directly impede my next battle. Yeah, we're down by one. Maybe I can find a shrine. Either way, it goes back up to neutral after one round. Makes sense. They lost people to those bandits, so if I show mercy in response to the people that worked with them, then they won't be happy about that. Notice boards are a great source of information about what's happening in the area. Clicking them will cause markers to appear on the regional map, showing you where to find places of interest. Oops. I guess they're just added, so I don't really need to look at that anymore anyway. Huh? Puzzle. I like puzzles. Fast travel spot, point of interest, which I had to loop all the way around for that. I'm curious. Let's look at our camp. That's the building place. Loading deck. But did I imagine that or what? Oops. Order, move to another row. I'm not crazy, right? That line just disappeared when I was in a fight. Maybe that's still because it was tutorial. The tutorial's so restrictive they might have been even deleting entire features from the game as we went, potentially. I take it I can't craft this trinket yet? Nope. I have to craft that one piece of my base that allows that kind of thing, which I might be able to craft a few things right now. Workshop 2. A crushing trap. I can't afford the wood of that. Training grounds, not enough gold. Look at... Oh, it makes the coin flicker red. All this stuff straight up isn't even unlocked in the story. The Royal Treasury. Tempting, an extra trinket. An extra trinket, but I can't craft an extra trinket yet. So I might as well at least have one to use before I try doing that. Anything new here? No, I think there'll be an exclamation point over this one that's something that's actually new. Just gotta remember to check every now and then. This is all... Yeah, this stuff also would have exclamation points, I think. Yeah, this is all stuff I've seen before. Go on, get. Let's move forward.
What is this, Reynard? Bandits attacking royal tax collectors in broad daylight.
They shall pay dearly, your grace.
They shall indeed. And not only they. Rot has crept into Lyria, Reynard. My kingdom has been poorly kept.
Interesting premise. It's a way of having this idea that you are going to be this protagonist going through this land and making decisions as per is standard of RPGs and whatnot. But on top of that, we're playing a character who has the power to make said decisions, and everyone has to listen to us. And trying to explain that is weird sometimes. I'll get to the question marks in a moment, and by in a moment I mean next episode. Having that kind of authority is always a weird implication. And one of the interesting things about Witcher at times is the fact that you don't have that authority in many cases. It's even though you're supposed to be an authority on said subject, people choose to believe you or not believe you, and that is often to their folly, both in the books and the games. Well, I assume games, I only played one of them. But the books definitely is a whole lot of people not believing the Witcher and then suffering the consequences. But here we do have the authority and people have to listen to us, basically. But that's because we're the queen. But how do you have the adventure part of the story happen if you're the queen of the area and you already have control of this place? Their solution is to craft a narrative where we have a family member we've delegated the rule of this area to, and they fucked it all up. So now we're going through and we're adventuring through their lands and witnessing the mistakes and setting things right or making our own choices. It's like they managed to have both sides. They solve the authority problem while also having the adventure happen anyway. It's an unusual premise, but it serves a very distinct purpose.